Hey everyone, COE33 here with another game room tour for you. Today we're going to take a look at the Super Nintendo collection. One of our viewers made a request that we showcase this, so I thought, yeah, why not? We haven't done that on the channel yet. So this is our small Super Nintendo collection right here. Still lots of great titles that we're looking for that we want to add to the collection. But it's always fun to showcase these and look at them grow over time. So if you guys know any great games that you don't see that we have here, go ahead and let us know, and we'll definitely keep an eye out for them when we're on the hunt. So why don't we start? Starting at the top left, we have some of the Mario games. Super Mario Kart, which is definitely one of my favorite games on the system. Now, I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up. I actually had a Sega Genesis at the time, and I was squarely planted on Team Sega. But my best friend down the street, he had a Super Nintendo, and I used to go over there and we would play Mario Kart, and we'd play Super Mario World and Donkey Kong Country, and we would have a blast doing that. So I definitely enjoy the Super Nintendo. I have appreciation for the Super Nintendo, especially since there's so many great games on there. Chrono Trigger is a good example of a game that's incredible. I have played it, although I do not have it in the collection, unfortunately. That's probably the number one Super Nintendo game that I would like to add to our collection. And it's just a great system, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of games I'm not even aware of that are quality titles that just because I didn't have one of these growing up, I'm not as familiar with it as, say, like the Sega Genesis or the NES or even like the Atari 2600. But I know there's a lot of love for it out there. So yeah, we have Super Mario Kart, which is always a lot of fun. Leaf and I enjoy playing that. And then we have Super Mario All-Stars, which is a collection of the early Super Mario games, and that's a lot of fun. Super Mario World, everyone loves that, of course. It's an awesome game, and it's fun jumping around and jumping on Yoshi and playing that. And then we got two of the Donkey Kong Country games. We have Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest, and then Donkey Kong Country. And those games are great. I mean, amazing, the graphics back then. They were pretty impressive. I remember being blown away by that when I would go over to my buddy's house and play it. And then we have, let's see, Breath of Fire 2 next to that, which was actually a gift from Retro Remix Nation. And this is one of the nicer items in our Super Nintendo collection. And really stoked to have that. And I actually haven't had a chance to play it yet. I really should get on that because that looks to be a lot of fun. And then moving down to the shelf below that, we have Final Fight. Now, I really enjoy playing this in the arcade. This is a really fun beat 'em up. Now, the Super Nintendo version of this isn't the best because you only can play one player, and that's unfortunate because this is really shines as a co-op game. So I definitely like the arcade port of that better. And then we have Space Invaders, Miss Pac-Man, Tetris Attack, Tetris and Dr. Mario, and Kirby's Avalanche. Moving down to the next shelf, we have one of the nicer items in our Super Nintendo collection, and that's the Super Game Boy in the box, and as Zelda falls there, or as Link falls, I should say. And this was one of our better garage sale scores. Some of you that have been with the channel for a long time may remember Leaf and I picking this up at a garage sale. We had a really nice Super Nintendo score. I believe that episode was Super SNES Score on the Hunt, and we were at a garage sale and we got a whole bunch of Super Nintendo games in the box. Well, not a whole bunch, but several Super Nintendo games in the box. We got a Super Nintendo console, some loose Super Nintendo games, and then this, which is really cool to have in the box like this, and definitely a nice item for the collection. And then we have Wing Commander here, Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then Full Throttle behind that in the box, so that's pretty cool. Moving down to the bottom shelf, we have the last few games that we have, including this Link that just fell, and this is a perler piece that a viewer of the channel sent to us, so that's really nice, and we have it living on our Super Nintendo shelf at the moment. And then we have Paperboy 2, and both Leaf and I are big fans of the Paperboy games. We always have been. I think primarily we grew up playing them on the Sega Genesis and in the arcade, but it's nice to have Paperboy 2 in the box there. And then we have Arkanoid Do It Again, and those are a lot of fun. And then we have our first Super Famicom game. Now, we picked this up recently. We did an online edition of On the Hunt where we had a $100 budget, and we went online and tried to get good deals on video games, and we thought, why not pick up our first import game? And so yeah, it's cool to have a Super Famicom game in the collection. Looking forward to adding some more. And then we have Tetris 2 in the box and Toy Story. And that is our Super Nintendo collection. Definitely looking forward to adding some more games. Definitely some of the Zelda games, and oh gosh, there's a whole bunch that we're looking for when we're on the hunt. We don't come across Super Nintendo that often, I know they're in demand, so I think people are snatching them up real quick. And it's rare when we come across them, but when we do, we definitely pick them up because it's a great system to collect for and play. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye.